Hi there. In this video, I'm going to show you a couple of ways of posting a GeoGebra activity in your Google Classroom. All right, so I have an activity here, and this is actually an activity that I altered for another video, just to show you that you can take activities that you like that have been pre-made and alter it so that you have it the way you like it to distribute to your students. Now that I've done that, I'm ready to go. So two ways of sharing with your classroom is create a class or using an integrated tool here under Share to go right to your Google Classroom. Now, with the Share button here, which I will show you how to do, this will only add into your Google Classroom as an assignment. So please keep that in mind. What I'm going to show you is how you can do it in a different way. I'm going to create class. Now, this is not creating like a brand new Google Classroom, so don't think that, oh, this is now one more thing the students will have to go to and so on. Not at all. We are going to click on Create a Class. We can rename this activity if you'd like. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And then we get to a page like this. This is a live session right here for a class where it's giving you some information. So it's saying, hey, you can join our class, and here's a link to do that. Or if you're at the geogebra.org/classroom page already, here's a code to enter this particular class. I could also click here to share out the exact same link that we have right here, right now. What I'm going to do just for simplicity is I'm going to copy this link and I'm going to go to my Google Classroom and I'm going to paste it here. So click Create. You can choose however you want to do this. I'm going to model how you can do it with an assignment in a different way from GeoGebra. So I'm going to do this as material. I will call this area of a triangle activity. I can choose to put a descriptor down below. I can choose different Google Classrooms to post it in, multiple classrooms. I can differentiate with my students here and choose an appropriate topic. I'm going to paste that link that I have so students can join this live class. And I can, of course, delay this post so that it can be done later by scheduling it. I can save a draft or I can post right now. Okay, stream was updated. Let's take a look. This is the student side, and the students are now going to see this activity, area of a triangle. Any descriptors that would be here by the teacher would be here as well. I'm just going to click into the activity. Students will want to sign in here. So actually not clicking the sign in button, that's not going to get them very far. And I'm going to actually call this sample student and click start. I'm going to jump now to the GeoGebra page and you can see, oh, look at this. All of a sudden we have one student in the class waiting to start. And as I do things in this activity here as the student, you will see live updates in this thumbnail here on the left-hand side for the teacher view. So let's take a look. For a part here, this task 2 to move point D. So the triangle is a right triangle. Let's do that. Okay, I've confirmed that we have a right triangle since we have this box right here to indicate this is at a 90-degree angle. Excellent. Then it says, then move the hint slider. So take a look on the left-hand side as I'm doing this. I am now doing that, and it will update on the left-hand side. And yep, there we go. This is now showing that we have a rectangle or specifically a quadrilateral. So we can talk about, hey, wait a minute, the triangle's area is 12.5. And that would be the base times the height divided by 2. So what would then be the area of this quadrilateral? So we could talk about that, about how this triangle is doubled to get the area of this quadrilateral. So that's something students can talk about. So describe the end result. I found that, and we can just continue, and the students can write whatever they want. And you could even see updated again, that student wrote this. And let's say for task 3, same idea. You're going to drag this so that this is now an obtuse angle here. So you can see this angle here is obtuse. We do still have the hint slider here. I can turn that back off, back on, and we can see all of a sudden the quadrilateral, in specifically here, a parallelogram that we have, and the students may want to indicate that. And I found that, and they can describe what they found here. And you can see as I'm going along that task 3 now out of the 5 are being done, task 4. And this is where we have an acute triangle. And again, I could take my point D and hoping that I know that an acute angle is when you have less than a 90-degree angle. Maybe because I have this hint turned on, it could be a little distracting for the students, but you can see here, that's where you have that acute angle. All right, so the triangle is now, all the angles are of course acute, which makes it an acute triangle. And of course with the obtuse, we have one angle that is over 90 degrees. All right, so what conjecture can you make about the formula for area of a triangle? So students can talk about that and test this conjecture so they can have 5 more triangles where we have base height combinations, looking at the quadrilateral and what do they find. So interestingly enough, I found, and so on and so on. And of course, it will be updated again that we have now 5 out of 5 tasks that were completed. Excellent. So let's say though, during these tasks, and I have, let's say 20 students in here, I see the thumbnails and I see some misconceptions, some misunderstandings, there's something going on, some questions that are coming up. What I may want to do as the educator is now click pause. So once I click pause, you're going to see every student in the class also will have this pause. So that's a really nice opportunity for you to take that teaching moment, have that conversation about any issues that may have come up or aha moments even that the students can now share. And then when you're ready, and again, what I love actually, I'm going to go back to this, whether you're remote learning or if you're actually in front of students in a brick and mortar school, either way, this is a really nice feature here. And let's say you are live, again, whether you're online or you're in front of the class themselves physically, you may want to hide the names if you're sharing your screen. So whether, again, if that's maybe on an interactive whiteboard or if it's even sharing your screen in an online session, you'll want to do that as well. All right, let's resume. I can go to task overview, and then I can see all the different tasks here, and I can then drill down. If we had multiple students, I could look at what all the students did for task 1, task 2, task 3, and so on. So this is a really nice feature where you can drill down by question or by task. Of course, if I keep going here, it'll take me to task 1, task 2, and so on. But if I want to go back here, I could then even, if I had, again, multiple students here, I could actually click on this and I could dig into the student responses specifically, not as just specific answers to each task from the whole class. Lots of great options here, but I wanted to show you how you can share this activity through Google Classroom in this way. All right. Let's use the built-in tool this time to share with Google Classroom. It will default to a Google assignment, and that's okay. Maybe that's exactly what you want to do. So let me show you how that works. We're going to go to the 3 lines here. So this is the teacher side of things. Actually, I'm just going to click on GeoGebra. Sorry about that. And what I want to do is get to my profile. So I can do that in a couple of ways. I can go here and click on profile, or I can click at the top here, and that will take me to my profile as well. This is my live class. You see how this is a class. I don't want to share the class that I've already done. I don't want to do that. I could, but I've already done that. And I could take that URL, paste it into my Google Classroom. I wanted to show you how you can take an activity, go to these 3 dots here, and instead of going the create a class route, we could go to share. And this is where you're going to see Google Classroom. If you haven't done this before, note you will have a pop-up and you will have to say, yes, allow this to happen. So make sure you do that. And then you'll have to click on the Google Classroom again. So you'll have to do that twice if it's the first time. Choose a class. I'm going to choose this Google Classroom. Keep the naming here. I can have instructions attached to this as well, just like the descriptor that we would normally do in the Google Classroom, and then click Assign. I'm going to go back now to my Google Classroom. From the student side of things, it says the assignment has been created. We can open an assignment in Google Classroom. I can click on that link, or if I could just, since I have my Google Classroom already here, I can see it here. So we have area of triangle activity. I may want to rename them, but you can see here just by the icons, this is the assignment, this is material. All right, let's update this. For students, we now see the assignment posted. This is why I wanted to show you this as well, is because I wanted you to see how it can look from the student perspective in handing it in versus to what we were just doing, where you can drill down to the tasks within the GeoGebra activity. So in this case, what I'm going to do is click on the link. Very similar situation as before, where I have the activity, I do have the tasks, but it's just laid out slightly different. So in this worksheet, we'll investigate and so on. So this is now move your pointer and I can type my answer in here. So you just notice even visually, it's slightly different than what you saw in the built-in tool with GeoGebra earlier when you did it as a class versus an assignment. Either way, it doesn't really matter. I noticed that, same idea. And we can just copy that just for timing's sake. We'll just paste this here and pretend the student completed this. So status is created, but we now want to turn in. So this is now the student saying, yep, I am done. Click turn in. And then what I'm going to do as a teacher is click on the assignment here, and I can now see one person has turned it in. So I love how the GeoGebra piece, the turn in button, talks to your Google Classroom. So the students do not need to go back into the Google Classroom to, yes, say hand in twice. That's not the situation at all. And there you go. Students can, of course, unsubmit, do their work again, and maybe alter it, make it better, and so on. Maybe based on even teacher feedback, that's what the student wants to do. All right, so that's the two ways of sharing out a GeoGebra activity through Google Classroom.